All right. BraveMaker Mastermind, July 29th, 2024. So today we're going to go around and what we have for some occasional mastermind groups when we don't have special guests, or some people would call them lectures or interactive kind of webinar type style sessions, is we do kind of reporting on what your goals are. The intention of the mastermind is to be professionally educating creative people in all spaces. We've got actors, writer, directors, producers, editors. We have all sorts of different people in the crafts of film who join this on a regular basis. So with being intentional about trying to get professional development so that you're moving toward your professional goals, we also look at the mastermind as a way to keep accountable, to talk to people, talk to us about what you are trying to accomplish. So people pay into this so that they have some sort of like homework and deadlines to meet. So I like this time of the year for myself personally. My rhythm after the film festival, as I go on a vacation, I decompress, I come back, I still have to clean up the freaking place because on the other side of the camera, it is bonkers in here with step and repeats. And there's still like, there's half bottles of sodas and wines over here to my left. Like it's director's chairs and all sorts of tiers of being made. And that it's wild. So after that, it really feels like a reset for me where almost like New Year's Eve, you know how you feel like on New Year's Day, you're like, okay, what am I going to accomplish in the next year? So it does feel like a little bit of a reset. Hi, Olga, welcome. So we'll do a little bit of chatting. Olga has been super significant in this as well, doing a lot of, she led it last week, which was great, and also does a lot of the communications and press stuff with Stacy. We do have drop-in sessions, like people can just come for a one time. Like we'll talk about that, what it looks like for the next few meetings, because we have some significant professional development stuff. So the goal for all you who are just joining and or watching on the replay is that you would get encouraged, professional development, have some accountability, and we want collaboration. We're hoping that through these groups, you're going, oh man, we should help make things together. We should work on each other's projects. We should resource each other on the things that we're doing, because part of our tagline with BraveMaker is, you are the story, but make friends, make movies. Let's get things happening, because there's too much talking and not enough doing. So today, what I thought we would do is, I know there's going to be more people who are going to joining. We've had at the most like 12 or 15, that kind of come. I think we have about that much for the official registrants. But now, if everybody were to show up, it is at 20 people. So once it does get a little bit bigger, we will do more breakout rooms and things like that so that people can have a little bit more time to engage. But I thought today it would be great to hear from some of our new people and give all of us an opportunity to do a little reporting, like, if something ignited you from last week, if you're still reflecting on the film festival, what is the crux today, I would like to say, is what is the thing you're trying to accomplish before the end of the year? If you were to state that goal, or up, two or three of them, what is it that you're looking for? What do you need? What are some of the next steps that are not quite there, that will take you over that hill that you need? I'm sure funding, or just getting the dates for production, or whatever it is. So I'd like us to do a little bit of that, as well as making sure people know who you are, introductions to each other. So I will put this in the chat as well, and name, where you're zooming in from, pronouns, anything else you want to say about yourself. And maybe if you want to even say something you're excited about, we've got some time. I know some of you were on set with is it called Bangra Baby or Bangra Baby? Olga and
It's
Stacy.
Bangra Baby, and we just wrapped
Bangra.
yesterday, and it was
Awesome.
amazing.
All right, why don't you go first? So do your thing, who you are, what you're doing. If you want to what do you call, like, elevate something you're proud about right now, great. And then some of the next steps you're looking forward to achieve in your goals.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony. And hello, everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's new week, new world with Mastermind here. I'm Olga Gabris, primarily writer, producer, doing a lot of things lately. But yes, those are my two happy places. Pronounced she, her, based in the East Bay, Emeryville, California. And as Tony mentioned yesterday, we wrapped a short film called Bunker Baby about this family who lost their mom, and now they're grieving and processing this event and trying to find the meaning of life and move on and move forward happily. This, of course, aligns with my brand of mental health and supporting those who goes through difficult moments in life and finding new reasons to keep going. Usually I focus on helping people answer difficult questions and start conversations that normally left untouched and avoided. And the goals for this month for me is to wrap up all of the post-production questions and any loose ends that may be left behind. Was over 40 people on set this Saturday, since we had a wedding scene where there were a lot of extras, a lot of invited actors and neighbors and friends who were part of this beautiful film. So that was massive. And for the end of month of August, there will be another short film that I'm shooting actually with Victoria here that we have talked about and agreed on. It's a 2-day production mid-August, immediately going into post, and then of course finish it up by fall of this year. By the end of this year, my goal is to get funds for the feature film, first ever. So shorts are great, writing is beautiful, but films also need to be features. And this is really my focus and goal and hope to raise some funds and keep going to really accomplish that big project. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Olga, let me ask some clarifying questions. Do you have a plan for the fundraising? Is there something like, are you doing the crowdsourcing? Are you going to do WeFunder? What kind of things are you thinking about? Is this for You're Good, Gemini?
Yes, this is for the feature film You're Good, Gemini, also about a woman who loses her partner to taking his own life, and then what happens to those people who are left behind. The budget, of course, for feature film is much higher than for shorts, and my plan is to engage marketing agencies that I worked with or that I know, not through just cold calls or emails, but actually know people, and really reach out to them and offer partnership, because all of the other things of personal network are great. They are good for shorts and small funds that are needed. But for something like this, my plan is to reach out to those agencies, to contacts that I know, and just offer them partnership of, let's say, 5%, 10% of the amount that they raise. So it almost becomes like an agent-client relationship, a manager-client relationship. Whatever they can raise, they can keep percentage of that by a certain goal. And that will be multiple agencies. And then by the end, that should all sum up and be sufficient to produce this film.
Well, do you know how much you're trying to raise?
Very, very, very bare bones is 100K, but I know it will not be enough. So I think that 250,000 would be really more sufficient, especially with special effects and permits and shooting outdoors and having stunt coordinators and having some professionals to set this realistically. So 250,000 is really what I need. And that would be not the end of this year to raise the whole amount, but to start those partnerships, to have conversations definitely by the end of December. And what's today, July? I'm going to Canada next month to also meet with the person that I work with. She's an incredible marketer. She has millions of followers and clients. Alex Catoni, if anyone wants to check her out. So she does this sort of projects where she creates campaigns to trigger call to action, trigger donations, or just anything, basically sales, promotions, marketing campaigns. And my goal is to really work with her so that she can create landing pages and call to action ads and Instagram posts for people to donate. Could be individuals, could be organizations, but because she's so talented, I believe that she would be the driving force of that. And then, of course, based on what we agree on, they would keep percentage of the total amount they can raise.
Cool.
The company is Copy Posse, which is also a very fun place to be. I've taken classes from them, and they do webinars and courses and programs for everyone to sort of learn and sign up copywriting. She's just a beautiful person to talk to. She's very fun and very engaging, and she would probably be also a good resource to reach out to just know about. She's on Instagram, YouTube, and a website.
Yeah, I'll go put any of those in the chat if you can. And everybody who just joined, we're going around. I'll put the prompts in the chat if you want to share your intros, where you're zooming from, pronouns, anything. Celebrate something you're excited about creatively, and then what your goals are, next steps for those creative goals you're trying to go after. So Olga, that's great. Congrats on that. If you are a part of the mastermind, the goal is sort of lock something in for each person. Okay, so Olga's making a feature film. You're Good, Gemini, trying to raise $250,000 over the course of the weeks and months of being a part of Mastermind. You might be involved in that. You might have connections for her. Otherwise, just rooting her on and encouraging her, because we all know it's too easy just to talk about it and then people forget and nobody does any follow-up. We have to manage that for ourselves, yes, but we also want to be encouraging and helping each other push that Sisyphusian rock up the mountain. So that's great. Awesome. Thank you, Olga. Who wants to go next? If you're still reflecting on the film festival, we haven't seen some of you since then, please share. It's so cool to see all the videos and photos coming through still. I love it. I'm living through them. It's great.
I can go.
Thanks,
Hi,
Belgica.
I'm Belgica Rodriguez, she, her. And something that I want to celebrate that I'm excited about creatively always, my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about my experience as an actress. I blog my experiences. I vlogged BraveMaker. It's going to take me a little while to edit because I have like dozens of videos in backlog because I've been producing a bunch of stuff. And my next goals and my next steps creatively is to go back to only acting. I am giving producing a shot, but I really just don't think it's for me. And that's all.
I love that though. I think that's super important to affirm that in yourself of what works for you. And we often talk about you have to make and create your own work, but if you're like, this doesn't jive with my gifts or skills or passions or time, I think you are pretty good at it.
It's the
But
time.
I think it's more about, yeah, you would rather be acting, right? So it's taking
100%.
away. Yeah.
Just like acting is not for us.
Yeah. Yeah. Saying
I would
no.
freeze in front of the camera.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. We should, we could talk a ton about that, about saying no to things that are good, to saying yes to what is best. I'm wrestling, sometimes with that right now myself. I just said no to this gig that I had on a retainer for this creative, like this entrepreneurial group, and I'd have to like fly to Philadelphia. It was really great. I really loved it. It paid decently well, but it's just started to get more and more like they're asking more of me, but they were also asking me to like, can I do it for less? And I was like, I really need the money. I have a kid going to college. And I was just thinking and praying through it and going like, I have to say no. But it was super scary. It feels like, I'm like super scared that I said no. I was actually hoping they were going to come back and offer me more money so I could come back and do it, but they didn't. They actually ended up closing the program because they didn't have enough people to do it. So I was like, well, that's an interesting sign that they gave up and just closed the program. So anyway, all that to do is to affirm you, Belgica. I think that's really good. And we want to see you acting. So again, we're locking that in for Belgica. Lock in the passion and desire she has to be in front of the camera. Cast her. I know some of you have in this room, which is great. Cool. Awesome. Who's next?
I would actually like to go next because
Hi,
I
Gwen.
have kind of hi, I'm Gwen Gordon, and she, her, and I'm here because of my short film Ransom, and I'm in the marketing fundraising stage of that. But I wanted to say, Belgica, I'm having a really similar experience where I just miss writing so much. And so like that's the thing that I love the most and that gives me the most joy. And I'm taking this sort of detour into producing my short because I know that no one else is going to produce, no one's going to buy a short script, so I'm just going to make it. But I can already feel, I'm at the beginning stages and I can already feel that I miss the thing that I love to do the most. So I'm trying to allocate a tiny little amount of time for some kind of creativity, even if it's not screenwriting, like I write in my journal or I write a poem or something, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right? And then that helps. So I really understand where you're coming from, that sometimes we take a detour and yeah. So anyway, for me, it's kind of an experiment to make the film. And I think I'll be good at it, but I'm not sure if it will be what fills me up.
Can you talk a little bit about it, Gwen? Congratulations, by the way, for being our first ever BraveMaker Continue On grant winner. Can you talk a little bit about the short and some of the plans for it for the next 6 months?
Sure. So the short is based on my aunt's real life experience of being the victim of a fake kidnapping scam. And it's it's 18 minutes long. And the idea is to get it in front of the people who need to see it in order to protect themselves and their family members. So the impact campaign that I have planned is, after it's made, to offer it free of charge to senior centers, libraries, community centers, and then for-profit senior homes can rent it for a nominal fee to help offset some of the distribution costs. So what I'm doing right now is I'm approaching local businesses that serve seniors in our community. And then also the more, I think the one that's actually more likely to provide funds, but is harder to get to the actual people who say yes, are financial institutions like banks, right? Like, I was on hold for a half an hour with someone at Wells Fargo who was trying to figure out who they would pass me off to, right? Because it's such a huge institution. So I think that navigating financial institutions is going to be probably the most lucrative, but also the most time consuming, just because they're just enormous. So I could walk into a bank in Redwood City and they would probably be like, wow, that's a really cool idea. You need to talk to, the regional office or the national office or whatever. So that's going to be an interesting sort of process to navigate, I think.
Fundraising. I will put in the chat one of the blogs that I wrote. I think I sent this to you before, but I think for everybody else too, the fundraising journey is a tough one, a necessary one. But if you are trying to raise money for your project right now, there is, no right way to do it. You kind of, like Gwen is saying, you kind of have to figure out what works for you and try every single avenue. It's like the diversity of your portfolio. If you're into stocks, which I am not, I wish I could be. Maybe I will be someday. But the idea of the sources come every which way. It's the corporate grants, it's the corporate donors, it's the matching through people who have the charitable giving through their company. If they do 100, that their company will match it. But it's also the individual donors, and it's the bake sales and the lemonade and the garage sales and all that kind of stuff. It really does take every single element to raise funds. So I'm going to put this is the blog that I wrote, Filmmaking Requires Fundraising. And it talks about, through BraveMaker, we've had to raise hundreds of thousands of dollars. My feature film, $80,000, tons of short films, anywhere from 3 to 10 to my first was 40,000, which was way too expensive looking back over 13 years ago. But this is something I send to everybody, and I try to be really transparent with how much I raised for each one. So happy to help. That's what this thing is here for as well, is to help you and spur you on to going after your goals and getting that money in your accounts. I'll put the link in the chat. Thanks, Gwen. And if anybody else wants to make comments or anything, please, unmute or post in the chat. I really encourage people using the chat, especially for our first timers today. Put your social media of choice as well, so we can make sure we're following each other. I'm sure if you were at the film festival, you are following each other, but I know something's missed, so make sure you do that chat. All right, let's go Ransom. That's Gwen's short. Cool. Who's next?
I'll go. Yeah.
Hi, Figo.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Figo. I'm from San Francisco. Always shout out the location in San Francisco, from the Mission District. And I've been I've been on like go mode. So it feels good this Monday to also like kind of be able to check in with a bunch of creatives as well. So thank you for having me in the space. I'm a creative director for Lyrical Opposition. We're a nonprofit. We oppose injustice through lyrical arts, through films, through poetry, through events up and down the Bay Area. And lately I've been working on this short where I'm in post right now. And I got to pitch it for the first time at BraveMaker at the festival, and learned a lot from that experience for those that were there. And actually it was really like a lot of positive notes that I took away from it. And
What did
now,
you learn? Yeah, share some of that. What was it? I didn't get a chance
freaked
to
out. So I started the thing with a song because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be different and I'm gonna do it. And it was going good until like the next song played accidentally. And I was like, oh crap. Now like I literally draw a blank and I'm like, okay, I freestyle. This is something I do, but I didn't want to freestyle, you know? So, all to say, I felt good for the most part. Thank you, Stacy, for the videos because I got to see the recap of that. And I was like studying the tape, as they say. And I was like, all right. But I got really good feedback from Ken, I believe that's his name, right? And then I ran into him after and got to talk about it. He really, I don't know, it was just the opportunity to talk to somebody who has experience and everyone on the panel, but specifically with him, I had a really good conversation, took those notes and then went to the next mixer and was able to apply that. So that was cool. And yeah, so full feature that I've been running around for 2 years, sharing it at different spaces. It was a documentary, which is different from, actually writing a screenplay and all that. So that's been a big learning curve. Sharing that at different spaces. We have like showed it at UC Berkeley, and then we have one coming up at SF State. So just trying to use this film, the documentary, as a tool to say, hey, I could tell stories. And now that I wrote this new short, that's kind of the next task at hand. So we're in post. I get to see a cut this week, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, editing, all the fun stuff. But that was a bit scattered. But yeah, all to say, documentary regentrification, that's completed and that's been circulating around. And then now I have a short called DeVille, which is based on my teenage experience as a 17-year-old running around here. It was a specific incident. Yeah.
And that one's in post, right, DeVille?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. When do you hope to lock that, and what's the plan?
Ah, man. So funding is definitely the subject matter here. Trying to make sure that, I mean, I'm super blessed because I have an amazing team already that's super invested in it. So if you guys want to check out a really dope director, photography, and editor, Desiree LeCapture, she shot the documentary and now she's doing the short. And it's really a passion project. So she's been like just straight believing in the story is from like 2 years ago. I shared it with her and she's like, what's up? You want to film it? So we casted a bunch of amazing actors and yeah, now it's we're looking at Indiegogo or like Seed and Spark, one of those. I'm getting different reviews from both, but yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Seed and Spark because it's so film
Yeah, because they
centric.
take like a whole chunk of whatever if you don't meet them where they want. Yeah, anyways.
Well, Seed and Spark will green light you if you meet 80%. So you have to make 80%, which is important. At least that's what it was last time. But they
Yeah.
only do films and they're really particular. Like they won't even put you on the site unless you are really intentional with is the communication there, is the video on point, is the call to action clear. So that I like a lot. Indiegogo, I feel like it's like you get whatever you raise, right? And so there's maybe not like the stakes aren't very high. So you usually see if people are trying to raise 10,000 and they only get 2 or 3 people, like, well, it's fine because they're going to get it, you know. Whereas Kickstarter is like all or nothing. So there's pros and cons to all of those things. I think you just got to figure out which one's right for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Seed and Spark as well because they really coach you through like creating your site, making sure it's good too.
That's Kelly. Thank you, Kelly.
Sorry, I'm driving. I apologize, you
No
guys.
worries. No worries. I was like, the voice is coming from somewhere. I'm looking to see who it is, but thank you. I saw the green outline on the box. That helps.
Okay.
Kelly, do you want to
Sorry.
go next since you're driving back from a premiere in LA?
Sure. That's where I am. I'm North LA right now on the 405. We had such a great time last night. We premiered our not premiered. We did our casting. We premiered at BraveMaker. We did our cast and crew, friends and family screening, and we had like 100 people there. So it was awesome. It was like a mini BraveMaker reunion because Leah Knauer came, Gigi Hawkins came. Gigi brought some of her team from her film, and we had a lot of good, interesting people trying to make connections. I think I got Leah connected to a potential comedy show for her on Tubi with somebody. So
That's
there's
awesome.
there were some really fun connections made, and then I connected her with my producing partner who's done some comedy specials for Netflix that he's gonna meet with her this week too. So just trying to make those connections for other people, even because I really feel like, you know, without wanting something from it. Because I know some people just do it when they want something from it. But I just feel like connecting them, because good things happen to them, good things will happen to us too, you know, just I love that connection part. But it was great. It was a great screening. We had a good time. We had wine, champagne, and it was fun. Step and repeat, all that. I was gonna tell you something else about it, and I totally forgot. So kind of my goal, I'm in the fundraising thing right now as well for a little romantic comedy feature. And one of the avenues that we're now hearing about is this social impact entertainment funding, where if you have a film, and so many films can connect, like Olga's for sure could raise some money this way, where it's like, you know, like what BraveMaker does with fiscal sponsors, and you can get people's, they call them DAF accounts, they're donor advised accounts that people with lots of money have, that apparently is sitting somewhere where they've already gotten their tax deduction for it, but they forget to distribute the funds. So we're going to try to go for some of that, or family foundation money, because our movie's about dog rescue, and one of our leads has Down syndrome. But for people with that kind of, you know, sometimes it could just be all female cast, or like Burn It at the Brave, or all female crew, you know, that kind of thing could get some of that funding. I've been told we haven't raised any yet, but we're waiting. By Wednesday, we should hear if we got Ohio tax incentive program to shoot it this year. So if we do, my goal is to really make it happen. I don't know how, but really finding money somehow to make it happen.
That's
my goal,
finding money. Let's go.
I know. I hate that part. I mean, I like with Gwen, I would love to say, yes, find somebody to produce, and I would even want to help you because I've read your script. I love the idea. I just don't want to be the one to find money for those projects when I have to find money for mine. But other parts of production, budgeting, scheduling, you know, I'm happy to help people do that stuff because I really enjoy it. You know, breaking it down, budgeting, scheduling, other kinds of things like that. But the finding money, you know, is so difficult, even for your own project. You know, for others, it's very hard. But I just do believe in connections. I felt it last night with so many people there, and our Tubi contact was there.
Was that Brett? Brett who was there?
Yeah.
That's great.
So Brett was there, so I've connected him to my other producing partner as well. They're going to do something together. That Dave, my other producing partner for my big feature that High in the Sky one day will do, Promise the Moon. Brett was interested in some of the projects Dave has too. So, you know, it's all about connecting those people to each other and seeing what comes out.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Yeah, I love that. Hear that Brett was there. I just found out my feature is on Tubi. Had no idea that it was on Tubi. I just got a message saying your film is now on Tubi. So that's great. So if anybody has not seen my movie and wants to watch it, you can watch it for free. Otherwise, you could pay $3.99 on Amazon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, Priscilla showed up. She missed the premiere, but she showed up at the last couple minutes. So that was amazing. And I'm just gonna say a little prayer and blessing for these people who just crashed in front of me, and I think stopping to get gas might save me from that moment of being right there. So,
oh no.
I'm like, no, that's fine. I just got past it. I'm like, oh, I'm glad I stopped to get gas.
Stay safe on the Mastermind Zoom while driving. Stay safe. Well, I wanted
that's why my camera's off. So
yes,
thank you guys. I didn't want to miss it.
Let me just encourage, so real quick, I think it's really cool thinking about the history of some of you in this Zoom right now. Like Kelly came in 2022 as an attendee, like the very first time to BraveMaker, to our Friday annual State of the Union entertainment panel discussion in the museum, and then came back in 2023 as a team member. And now 2024, she's a filmmaker and has multiple projects with BraveMaker and is now, doing all these other cool things. So it's really, really fun to see. You just never know how these things are going to work. I know Gwen happened to walk by last year at the hub, and it's really beautiful. So as you hear Kelly talking about all of her projects, she has this connection at Tubi. Brett, I forget his last name, but I pitched to him one time. Then he's like, "Hey, anything you have, let me know." And that's not how my film got on there. That was through distribution. But one of the filmmakers that came to our fest this year, Jesse Kuba, had a film called The Moon is in Aquarius. And I thought, oh, this would be great for Tubi. And I sent it to him, connected him and Jesse. And supposedly Brett said he loved it, but the acquisition people were like, we have too many stories like this. So they passed, but like, just stay connected. And it just goes to show, you just don't know how these things are going to work. Kelly introduces me to Brett. I get to pitch for Brett on this women in film thing. And then, boom, 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 boom. And then he's there last night. That's really, really cool. So these masterminds, can lock this stuff in your mind, because maybe you can help Gwen raise money. And we all know raising money is hard, but there's also something like, I know when I'm trying to raise money for something and I see somebody not get the pitch as I'm telling them, that's why I like being the fiscal sponsor. And that's why I do produce a lot of the things that come through BraveMaker. Because then I go, well, if you don't like this one, how about Ransom? Or how about Three Wishes, right? I can use the platform that we have with all of these projects to see what hits for somebody, because it might be of interest to, grandma might not be interested in mental health things, but maybe she's interested in, a comedy or a dog rescue movie or, whatever. We just never know. So continue to think about how you can mutually benefit each other. And the last thing I'll say is there was one filmmaker that came through the festival that I thought, oh, I want to be connected to this person. I just said, hey, if there's anything that I can do to help in your future. And they were like, well, we're looking for this amount of money. I'm like, of course, everyone's looking for money. So I said, if I could scrape up this amount, I will to try to help you, because they're trying to reach this next platform. And they came back to me and said, hey, that's usually not the amount that we would get somebody to be like an executive producer, but because we like BraveMaker so much, we want to put BraveMaker's name on this project. I was like, done. I will make it happen at this low amount that is not a normal executive producer. So that's the cool thing about relationships. So now BraveMaker will have an extension through another movie that came through. It just makes me so happy. I love it. All right, who's next? Who wants to share?
I'll go.
Let's go, Matthew.
Hey, hello everyone. Happy Monday. I had may I ask a quick follow-up question, because Tubi was on my list to do, ironically.
Yeah.
Is there a way that that someone could do an intro to Brett? Because I'm looking to whoever there to consider my anthology on there, because I keep on people are like, you should try Tubi, you should try Tubi, you should try Tubi. I'm like, okay, I got so much stuff to do, but I guess it's presenting itself right now.
Easy.
So is it already shot, or is it you just want it on the site, or you want to partner with them for like a Tubi original?
Yeah, it's they're already shot. This anthology was had run its festival circuit, and it screened at the BraveMaker. There's 4 separate shorts that interlink to each other. They were all shot in the Bay Area. And I'm I don't have to do distribution. I'm wanting to move on. So yeah.
Let me ask Brett about because he's not the right person for that. He's development, but for Tubi originals, but he'll know the right person, and I'll see. I'm supposed to have a call with him because he got some updates on what they're looking for that he wants to share with me. So we're gonna set up a call. I don't know if it'll end up being this week or next week, but I'll ask him for the right person and see if he'll do that. Pass off an intro, and I'm sure he will. He's like so generous and nice with his time. I mean, he's told me I can send him any ideas for Tubi originals that that's why he wants to tell me the updates for the platform. So I'll keep listening to your all scripts too, and can send him like synopsis and things if they fit. So Tony, will you give him my email and stuff so that I can get connected, since I'm driving? I can't right now.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'm sure we can. Yeah. It's just I know he's not the platform person. He's the development.
So I was at BraveMaker with my anthology, and then one of those films will be screening at the Timeless Festival with Jordan, which is really cool. It's at the Chabot Theater, and that's on August 24th if you didn't get to catch it. And then that one takes place entirely on the Bay Bridge, a feat in itself, I should say, for my crew and my cast. It's called Across, and then also I have been I'm with a group called Cinemama here. Stacy is with us, and I've seen her at our functions last week, where we are a film alliance in the in Oakland and East Bay, and mainly focus on people who are from marginalized communities as well, and have given them voices and connecting people. And I'm co-organizing the SF Queer Film Fest on September 4th, and it'll be at the Grand Lake Theater. So I'm looking forward to that. And then with BraveMaker, thank you so much, Tony, and everybody there for having me there. And I totally learned from you, Fego. Thank you so much, because I thought to myself at the end of my pitch, why didn't you break out into Lucky Star, the song? And because my film is called Lucky Star, and it's about a kid who's obsessed with Madonna in 1986, and he enlists the help of a retired opera diva on his paper route to help him win a singing contest at his high school. And I thought to myself, Fego, I was like thinking maybe I should add a song, break out into song at the end of it, just to clinch it, So, thank you so much for being so brave and so vulnerable to do that, So, we all learn from each other. That's what I want to say. And if you keep your eyes and your ears open for everybody, for everybody's willingness to be themselves, which is actually what my film is about. So update on my stuff. I got a nice swift kick in the rear from BraveMaker, and that was the first time I pitched a 5-minute pitch of my project. And I was very, very grateful for just even the opportunity to do that, because I was nervous during it, actually, if I maybe be open about that. But then I kind of actually called upon one of my characters, Miss Kelly, the opera diva, and I thought, this is in you. This project has been within me for a long time, and so I already know the project. So just trust yourself and step out on that stage and be vulnerable. So like I said, it gave me a nice swift kick in the rear, and I'm finishing my lookbook, which I'm giving a little bit of a zhush right now. It's gonna look it looks really, really awesome. And then I'm gonna go back in and do a little bit of a tweak on the script. And I'm right now for that film, I'm looking for seed money for about, I'd say like $50,000 to hire an actual line producer in Kentucky or the Midwest, who I already have been working with, and then also to hire for flights and expendable expenses like that, and then an attorney to put my attorney George on a retainer. Because I feel like I'm getting more momentum toward this project to be coming into fruition. I want to shoot it in the Midwest, and Kentucky and Indiana offer really nice, robust 30 to 35% tax incentive, and it is a period piece, so it's not going to be under $1 million. I already have a budget for it and a schedule. So, and then I'm also rewriting a script. Hopefully, that's my goal by the end of the year, that actually takes place in San Francisco and Oakland. And it's been written, and it's kind of like telling me to rewrite it again. So that one does take place somewhat on the Bay Bridge, and it's a tale of two cities actually, and it deals with suicide within the gay community and racism within the gay community as well. So a lot I'm doing here.
Matthew, that last one sounds, I mean, if you need fiscal sponsorship, if you need to raise money through BraveMaker, that sounds right aligned with what we're all about. So, talk to me about that if that's of interest to you. And, you get $500 for your win for Lucky Star, and really you can kind of use that really wherever you need to. So I'll follow up with you about that. But what's the thing you're going to be doing like in the next 6 months? What's like the top project that is your attention? Is it the Lucky Star?
It's Lucky Star because I put so much, like you were saying, Belhika, you've got to prioritize and do, I used to be an actor. I used to be a musical theater. I used to do light opera and sing and dance on stage and that type of thing. And I'm also a writer, and I'm many things.
Yeah.
And I've got so many projects in my wish list, but you got to just pick one and
Yep.
go for it. And so this one, I think we need a lot of light and love right now in this world right now. And that one appeals to me the most because that's what I want to focus on, is bringing more light and love in the world, and especially to marginalized communities as well, and representation. And so that's my focus is there. And I feel like the momentum is going that
Great.
way.
Well, let me say too, we do have some open spots for table reads here. So if you want to do a table read with us as a way to get some feedback, we can chat about that as well. We have a full August, but come September, if you want to do a Lucky Star table read, that would be great.
And that'd be fun. Okay.
Yeah. So let's chat about that. And also to confirm, did you get an email from Shot Deck? Because I heard you talking about your lookbook or your pitch deck.
Yes, and thank you, because I
Great.
just pulling things from Breakfast Club and
Great.
Vision,
Awesome.
all these
Great.
80s movies. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And
You got it. Yeah, our grant winners got a Shot Deck subscription for a year, which is great. So yeah, utilize that. Okay, cool. Thanks, Matthew. Who's up next?
I can go next.
Let's go, Shauna.
Hey everyone, good morning. I'm Shauna. I'm a writer and director. My pronouns are she, her. Something I'm excited about creatively is seeing my current film get completed and come to life, The Wishes, which if for the newcomers who haven't heard of it, it's produced by Tony and BraveMaker, and Belhika actually starred in it as the lead. And it's an amazing experience. So, and I actually did see a first draft of the rough cut recently, and it looks really good. And so I'm very excited to move forward with that, just polish it up more. And I'm meeting with my editor later this week, I think, to go over it. Next steps are my goals for creative stuff. I think you said in the next 6 months, Tony. I feel like I am finally ready to move on from shorts to either features or like a web series idea. So I have multiple ideas for both. So I think I'm just trying to pick one and start writing that. And hopefully have at least a first draft done by the end of this year. And yes, thank you, Tony. This is the Three Wishes campaign, the film that Tony produced and Belhika starred in. And I'm actually so glad that people have been talking about fundraising earlier in this call, because that's also something that I'm like trying to figure out and just get the ball going more and more. And another thing that I am excited for in the next month or so is I'm planning a fundraiser event for the film. It's mainly for the film, of course, but also to just bring people together in the local community and just have them make those connections and network and mingle and just meet each other and hear about each other's work. And that event is going to have a screening that will involve a clip from the film, but also works by other people on the team, like Tony, my casting director, my DP, my AD, other people. So it's just meant to like highlight, you know, these kind of people and their works and just, you know, have fun. So I am very excited for that. It's a lot of work planning, but I'm very, very excited to see it happen. August 30th most likely will happen. So you all are invited. Save the date.
Is that the official date, August 30th?
That is what I'm aiming for. Yes, I'm
Great.
very close. I actually think I can do it in my work in San Jose. I just need to, it's going to be finalized early this week.
Nice. Okay, great. Congratulations. So August 30th is a Friday, and that is at I forget that it always has a unique name. I forget what's it called again?
My work,
Yeah.
Create TV San Jose in downtown San Jose.
Create TV. Yeah, it's a cool space. I've been wanting to come to it
Yes,
for
you
a
need to
while.
come by and tour.
Yes.
Everyone is welcome. It's like a community center, rental venue, art gallery space. So we're kind of like a mixed use creative space. It's very cool.
Shauna, can you put the link in there? Because that is a cool space to use. I feel like
Sure.
not many people know about it. It's like under the radar, but yeah, cool. Thanks, Shauna. Anybody have any comments or questions? Feel free to always surface them. We got Stacy and Victoria left.
Everyone, I'm Stacy. I'm in Richmond, but I'm from LA, and my film production company is called School Dismissed. All of my films are focused on K through 12 public education issues. And so right now I'm working on a film called Mr. Advocate. It takes place at an elementary school, and I'm working on the script and have, gotten professional help and just a lot of eyes on it, still working on it. Like I said, many revisions. And yeah, just trying to figure out how I'm gonna work with children and casting children, studio teachers, location, all that stuff. So yeah.
You did a feedback sesh last week, yeah?
Yes.
On this call. So I'd love to hear just a quick update on that for you, because I remember I emailed you. You're like, okay, I'm totally changing everything because I got all this feedback. So where are you at now with it? How do you feel about the script?
Yeah, I mean, it's still not where I want it to be, but the feedback last week was great. I showed an AI pitch video, and people just gave me a lot of the feedback. Like my tone and thing that I want to come across is different than what is presented, or I'm not doing it right. Like I don't want it to be inspirational, but it's coming off as an inspirational teacher piece. So I'm adding other characters and more layers to the main character, the teacher, to make it more the way I want it. But I didn't realize it wasn't reading like that. So yeah.
It's good. The development process, you think one way in your head and then other people get a different vibe or tone. You got to take that into consideration. That's great. Thanks to everybody for being a part of that last week. I still haven't been able to watch the video, but I want to. So, and the script that you sent me, is that what the most current one you have, Stacy?
No.
Okay.
Don't bother reading it.
All right, cool. When you can, I'd love to read it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right. And last, Victoria.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I made some notes. First, I was really inspired by just the BraveMaker Film Festival. It was my first time there. And yeah, I came out really just feeling like things are possible. I was a little bit in a rut, and I thought, I don't know how people make things work. I don't know how people even get money. And through talking to like filmmakers, they were like, you find a way, you push through, you get it done. I was like, okay, so if I have the grit for it, and if I'm inventive, I can find a way through my projects. So I took some time also after the BraveMaker Fest to I went to Portland for a little bit, and I took some time with family, and also had to finish before coming to the festival. I I was about to basically give up on anything artistic, and I was taking an accounting course, so I had to finish that course while traveling too. Happy to say I got an A on it, but it's not what I want to do. But I still was like, I signed up for it. I'm gonna excel. So I was able to finish that and kind of get all of those extra things, scattered things that I was trying to do to like minimize risk in my life out of the way. Because I decided after the festival I wanted to really double down on trying, because I haven't really tried. I had to come to terms with that myself. So I wrote a couple things on my notebook. The first thing that I wrote about is while I was at the festival, I was speaking to some people, because where I feel at home is comedy. And I started talking about this series that I had an idea for about 4 years ago. And I just kind of left it, but it was the bones of it was all written out. And I started just kind of like just mentioning it in passing, and a lot of people gave me a lot of positive affirmation towards it and said that I think there's something here. You should really work on this. Like, it's, if you're pitching it to me and I'm already laughing out loud at some of the premises, maybe it's something you need to sit down and do. So my one goal that I want before the end of the year is definitely getting the mapping of the short series down, really building out more of the world of it. I have some characters already, but I really want to build out the world and the stakes of it. So that's one of the goals that I want. The second goal that I've already put into motion is after the festival, I came back and I started auditioning again, started believing in myself again. I'm happy to say I've already gotten 3 responses of people wanting to book me, which is crazy. And yeah, now we're in talks to like make some films, so that's also great. So I've been consistently submitting myself to things every day for an hour. I only do it an hour so I don't get overwhelmed. And then the last thing that I would like to do before the end of the year, and it's not even before I would be like, especially with social media, I would say something like, I want 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm changing my vision, and I just want to focus on consistency. So I want to go back to posting like I did on YouTube once a week. It brought me a lot of joy, and it helped me work out some of the like rough edges of ideas that I've had in the past. So I just want to go back to doing that and removing so much of my pressure off of me from doing it, because I would spend Belhika knows. I spend a lot of time on my videos and people give me great feedback, but then they want the same quality, and I can't consistently produce that all the time. So just going back to posting once a week, even if it is something that just brings me joy, and that isn't so like tailored toward like, oh, let me like open the funnel and get subscriber, things like that. I just want to get into the cycle of doing that by the end of the year, so it's not so much of a like a boulder. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. Victoria, thank you. And congrats on your freaking raffle win. You got so many great things. So the acting
Thank you.
thing, yeah,
Thank
all
you to
Belgica,
everybody.
right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you. I was so happy. I honestly, that was like the one thing that it was a huge sign for me, because I have old headshots and I've been thinking about getting new ones, but I haven't had that push. So thankfully, Belgica, thank you for setting up such an awesome package. All of it is basically geared toward actors. So it really was that final push of being like, okay, headshots, you can get one look down. That's all you really need. Just get that look down and get yourself set up so that you can start auditioning again. But already with my old stuff, I'm already getting good responses. So I'm just
awesome.
like, just double down and stop being so worried about the future and just kind of do it one day at a time.
It's very, very exciting. Like, one of my favorite things to hear is people who had conversations that were then igniting. Like, I heard so many people like the following week were like, I'm making new goals. Stacy was location scouting with someone and attached to another project. Olga's doing Bhangra Baby. I mean, it's really, really beautiful. This is the community we want to create. And I'll remind you too, being a part of the mastermind, you do get, we'll have a mixer coming up, I think in September, that you all get to come to for free. So mastermind members get our mixers for free. They get 50% off of our film screenings and the film festival passes that come out next year, obviously. And then our classes are 20% off. So I was thinking, Victoria, if you haven't looked into the Academy, we are doing a comedy session starting August 21st. So you'd get 20% off that as a mastermind member. So let all that stuff spin. Well, good. So as a way to close up our time today, just in the chat, the one thing that is at top of your list right now? I didn't even share mine, but you can do this while I talk. What are you trying to accomplish? You just talked about it. Now write it down, because sometimes we have to talk about it, then we have to write it down. So we should see one line coming up, and mine is going to be, I need to finish writing my feature film called Eyes on Dino. That is something that I'm trying to follow up as a kind of sequel-ish to my film Last Chance Charlene. So I'm trying to write that and get that into production in 2025. That's, yeah, on my list. Finish the freaking feature, the second feature. So I'm going to type that in there as an I will statement.
Is this for this week as a goal or just in general?
No, what you just were sharing, just like
gotcha.
the one thing top of mind.
Since I can't type, I'll tell you. I will shoot Forever Home by the end of by 1 year from September.
Awesome. Forever Home, shoot it by the end of September next year. Feature.
Yep, feature.
Beautiful. Forever Home. Okay, cool. Everybody else, go ahead and throw those in there. Just as a I will statement for goals. And as we do that, I'll let you know for next week. I'm going to put in, next week is a DP round table. So we have 2 different directors of photography. One you might have met this past couple weeks at the festival. His name is Luke. The other one is Abe, and I'll put both of theirs in the chat. I would encourage you to be following them. These are guys who are doing both TV and film. Luke Miller was most recently doing the LA stuff on Only Murders in the Building. He had 2 shorts at the festival. So this is his Insta, Luke Wayne Miller. He also did the Grace and Frankie TV show on Netflix. So you can see a bunch of his stuff here at his Insta, which is Luke Wayne Miller. And then my friend, Abe Martinez, most recently was on Cobra Kai, but he's been on tons of things. National Treasures show, Lincoln Lawyer. He did some Spider-Man stuff back in the day. But these 2 will be our featured guests next week. So come with questions about being in collaboration with DPs. I don't think anybody on this call wants to be a DP, but you can be asking questions about, okay, so what should I be knowing? What are best practices? I'm a director or I'm a producer. How can I support a DP in the director relationship? I'm new to this. I'm making my first short film. I'm looking to hire a DP. What should I be looking for? So please, everybody come with one question, okay? And then next week, we will have Brittany Nichols, who is Emmy nominated and writer, producer on the Abbott Elementary television show. So her Insta is B is hilarious. So follow her. This again, it's about building relationships, okay, growing relationships with these people. We will be setting out a best practices for our guests so that you don't put yourself in awkward positions. For instance, nobody should be saying to Brittany, "Can you read my script?" or "How do I get on Abbott Elementary?" Those are just inappropriate, awkward questions that make you look new. And we want, not that being new is bad, but you don't want to come across as thirsty or desperate or hungry, right? So I will be putting together a list of things that when we have some of our high profile guests, never okay to ask for the phone number or cell phone, just do the social media connection start first. And you never want to put your stuff out there to somebody that isn't looking for it, right? If they're going to hire somebody for their Abbott Elementary room, they're going to go through agents and reps and all that kind of stuff. So I have to tell myself that as well. But this is the first steps to building those connections. Eventually, I want to get Brittany to be one of our VIPs, our honorees for the festival. She was almost going to be one this year, but scheduling, it didn't work. So those are at least the next 2 weeks, and you should have gotten an email to see the whole month. We've got a stocked full month of really cool guests. All right, that's it. We're done. Thank you so much. I see all your things. I'm going to collect those and I'll put those out into an email as well so we can all see them and root each other on. I'll stay on for a few minutes if anybody has any questions, but otherwise we're good. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. If you're watching on the replay, you can share your I will goal statements with me in an email and I'll make sure to collect them too. Okay, keep creating, everybody. Keep going. Thanks so much. Have a good week.
Have a great week, everyone.
Good
Thanks,
one.
guys.
See you.
Bye.